Brovieri, who's the counselor for wards 9 and 10. Thank you so much for being part of our broadcast today, John Brovieri. Much appreciated.
You're welcome, Marco, and I'm very happy to be on your program.
Talk a little bit about one of the issues that you have raised repeatedly, and that is these just never-ending probes into the integrity of yourself and some of your colleagues. The integrity commissioner out there, Guy Giorno, has been quite busy as far as Brampton is concerned, because it just seems like every week, every other week, we're seeing complaints. My question to you, John, are these complaints being used as weapons, as political weapons against yourself and perhaps some of your colleagues?
I think that is the intention of a lot of people, and it's come to the point it's become ridiculous where there's an opportunity or something that arises that there's a potential for an investigation. Members of council take advantage and we, including myself, and I think some of the ones I put in have been legitimate, and we use them to sort of get back at each other. Because somebody started the ball rolling, and now everybody's jumping on and doing the same thing just to get back.
You've been a target of one. You've been the target. How many of you have been the target of now?
This last term, I think there was 3 or 4.
I know Martin Medeiros has been the target of at least one that I know of.
Well, so mainly it's been Miles Fortini, Medeiros, Dylan, myself, Moore.
The mayor.
And the mayor.
I mean, you use the word ridiculous, John. I mean, it does seem kind of crazy. I mean, what is going on here?
Well, as I said, somebody started the ball rolling, and now everybody's just trying to get back. And that, I think it's human nature. Is you try to screw me, I'll try to screw you, type of thing. I think it's just the way humanity works, and that's what we're doing, and it's become ridiculous. Most of these complaints have no merit. Have been sometime, I believe that a few have been influenced, and but most of them have been dismissed. It's costing the taxpayers money every time. The integrity commissioner gets a flat fee, and then anything over that he charges by the hour.
Right. So Guy Giorno's making some money from the taxpayers of Brampton over this
well, that's
thing.
That's why last week I asked staff to report back exactly how much money is being spent so far on the integrity commissioner. And I think that the public needs to know that, whether we're getting good value for the money being spent.
What's a ballpark figure? Do you have any idea at all how much this is costing?
I believe that he has for the term, his contract is, I think it's $170,000
flat fee.
Yeah, and then I think and I don't know whether that will cover all these investigations, or whether it's only a sort of a flat fee, and then he charges over and above any cases that he investigates. I'm not sure of that. That's why I've asked for this report.
So you've asked for a report asking staff to find out how much this is costing the people of Brampton to have these constant, never-ending investigations and probes into the integrity of members. And some of these can run the gamut of looking into leaks, for instance, leaks to the media, right? I know that yourself, you've been the target of one of those. I think the broader issue here, and I think that's what I'm trying to get at, is the integrity commissioner being weaponized, being used as a way to beat the other guys over the head because you got me last time and I'm going to get you this time? And, to what degree does that feed into the level of cynicism in Brampton and elsewhere as far as politics is concerned? Because we got an election coming up in the fall, and you're still deciding which way to go. But a lot of people in Brampton are thinking, man, you guys just can't get it together. And if you're using the integrity commissioner as a way as political payback, as a political weapon, that's not only a waste of the people's money. It's also it breeds into the cynicism. It also breeds into the sense that these guys can't work. They can barely stand each other. They can't even get in a room together and work stuff out without trying to get each other politically.
Well, it seems that we have evolved to that point, and I tell you, and I always believe it takes two to tango, sometimes some the more rational people should say, well, we should take the high road here, and let's play this petty game. But I've lodged one complaint only uh, throughout this whole process, and that my complaint was against the mayor for her influencing some members of council to cover her $18,000 legal bill.
Right.
I thought it's plainly clear in the code of conduct that you don't do that. And what really irritated me on that case was that she did not give any explanation as to what the issue was, when it happened, and why she had to get a legal opinion and spend $18,000. And I needed some. I believe that the public needed to know. And that's why I put the complaint in, that the public needs to know why she put this claim in, spend 18,000, and it's all about the money. And so I know what people go through, and I'm very, very sensitive about wasting taxpayers' money.
The integrity commissioner sided with the mayor on that issue.
Yeah, but look at the silly example. It was an innocent mistake. She said to him to lobby my colleagues. It was an innocent mistake. That's baloney.
You're saying she should have known better.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
If she was a fresh, young, just a starter, yeah, I could believe it. Yeah, it was an innocent oversight. But given the experience, it's like a doctor. He's a doctor's been practicing for 20 years. You go there for an appendix, and he takes out your liver. Appendix.
Yeah.
The whole story. I didn't know the difference between a liver and a.
Yeah. Is it possible, and is it time to say, you know what, enough is enough for now. Let's go into the next election pretty much free and clear of this stuff without having it overhang. And then, as you say, you're looking into the cost of this thing. Put them aside for now. Go into the next election and then see what happens after that. I mean, because it just seems like there's one too many. What say you?
Well, there's already some in progress. When I received the results of the mayor's investigation with her mediocre excuse or alibi, I moved forward and I sent this complaint to the ombudsman, the provincial ombudsman, to review it. Right. So that's still in progress.
Okay.
Then Pat Fortini turned around and put a complaint against Miles just recently for misleading the public on this Riverstone.
I believe it was her complaint against him, wasn't it? I mean,
no, but he put one against her.
Okay, so it's tit for tat. It's again, it's you did it to me, I'm going to do it to you.
Well, to be honest with you, I think that Pat has a very good. We spend a lot of money on this golf course that I think we overpaid by several $1 million. But based on the appraisal values that we received that were done, we overpaid serious money for this. And and why? It boggles my mind, especially since I believe that it wasn't. If it was a real good deal, I believe it was. I would have supported it to purchase if it was a real good deal. But it was not. We overpaid, and it's not really necessary. It's a nice thing to have in that community, but is it really needed for the price we paid? No, because we have the Gore Meadows. It's the biggest community center that was designed to serve the whole community there. The whole East Brampton. It's under. There's one community center, a huge. We spent $100 million on it so far.
Yeah.
On the facility. And it was to serve the whole area. And then now this opportunity came along, which is in the same catchment area. And Councilor Miles really pushed hard to buy this place because it's in her constituency. Maybe I would have done the same, but I wouldn't have. I would never have gone along paying the amount of money we paid for it.
So yeah.
We
Let me
overpay.
let me ask you, John. You've been at this game for over 30 years,
Not
politics,
not quite, just under 30 years.
under 30 years,
29 and a half.
29 and a half years, soon to be by the time of the election, it will be 30 years if I'm not
That's
mistaken.
right.
Are you planning to run again?
I am leaning. I was supposed to retire last election. In 2014, I had said this is it. At that time I was going to be 69, and I said that my plan was always to retire at 65, but God has given me some good health, and and I said, well, let's do it again. Mainly for I ran mainly to pursue this to eliminate water fluoridation and Kill Reach.
Yeah.
I was trying for a number of years since 2011. I saw that there was something really not right about the whole program, and so I've been investigating, researching, and I found that it's, and this is not my conclusion. This is a conclusion of some very highly regarded scientists. As a matter of fact, there was 14 Nobel Prize winners from European, and when Europe went through the process of eliminating fluoride, there was 14 Nobel Prize winners in the scientific world that said fluoridation is bad, is not needed, and we should remove it. And as you know, most of Europe, 98% of Europe is fluoride free now, and 70% of Canada is fluoride free now. Because of this research from scientific research. So I'm not making this up. I'm only going by
Yeah. Right.
the experts that I've.
So it's time to get rid of it in Brampton, is what you're saying.
Yeah, if I run again, it will only be just to pursue that matter again,
Okay.
to get rid of fluoridation. If fluoridation is removed from the water, I will seriously think about retiring at the end of this term.
So I thank you for spending a few minutes with me today, John Sprovieri.
Thank you, Marco. It was a pleasure talking to you.